Greetings, fellow Capsuleers. I'm Inth, and today we're going to be uncovering some more of those hidden mechanics. It's time to explore some of those fine mechanics that may just redefine your EVE experience. So without further ado, number 1. Alrighty, so for this first tip, this is going to involve targeting, another little helpful targeting trick. So say you're getting, I don't know, webs, scram, and getting some capacitor transfer to you. What can you do with these little icons? They're more than just icons, I'll tell you that much. They act pretty much like ships. If you hover over them, you can see who you're webbed by, who you're scrammed by, who you're getting your transfer to. And you can do a lot of things like hold down Control and click them to start targeting whoever's doing the thing to you. You can hold down C and track them. You can hold down Q and approach someone. And you can do just pretty much whatever you can do by right-clicking a ship, you can do with these icons here. And that's a really good way to find out or deal with whoever's doing some nasty E-war to you. Or if someone's like giving you cap transfer, that's an easy way to tell who you should anchor on, perhaps. Other than that, you can also right-click, and then you'll get a list of all of the people doing the things to you. And you can, obviously do all of those different things like broadcast target. If someone's scramming you, you want them to get off of you, you can broadcast that to your fleet. Pretty easy there. And then lastly, just for like order, it seems to target in order alphabetically. So if you have a higher name, then like if you're an A named tackle, you'll be targeted first. And things like if you're just like keeping range at or approaching or orbiting off of these buttons, it seems like you only have the option of doing that top name. But again, you can always just right click, choose a name, and then orbit whoever's lower on the list. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. On to number 2. So this tip is admittedly a little more niche, but it can still come in handy, especially if you're a wormholer. So say we're in a wormhole, and it's a normal wormhole, so we can't just look over the icon and see what class it is. And we've forgotten what class of wormhole we're in. I don't know, it happens, trust me. But there is an easy way to figure out what wormhole you're in. Yeah, you can also look at the background and whatnot if you're more experienced, but let's pretend you're not experienced. A hard way to do it is you look at your solar system, and in your solar system information, you're going to have a region and constellation. And you notice how both of these start with D? And you know how the alphabet goes A, B, C, D? As if it's the 4th letter in the alphabet? Like a class 4 wormhole? That's right, we're in a class 4 wormhole. And you can tell because the region constellation first letter correlates with what class it is. And just to prove this, we can go ahead and bring this fancy old wormhole over to Anoix. Big shout out to anoix.is. It's a great website if you're doing some wormhole stuff. You just look up this class and we can tell that it is in fact a class 4 system. And we'll just go ahead and also showcase. We'll hop into this. I know it's a C5, but maybe we don't, but we can go ahead and hop in here. And now that we're in here, we're completely lost. We have no idea what class wormhole this is. We use our trusty handy dandy guide, and it goes E. A, B, C, D, E. Class 5. That's right. We can check on Anoix just to double check our work. Look here, class 5. Easy as that. Alright, hopefully that helps if you get lost in wormholes sometime. And let's move on to number 3. So this next tip, probably most of you know, but this is going to be one of those things that gets lost in time, forgot how it's done, and future generations will thank me for showing you how to do this. So you see, we have a locations window, and this shows all of our bookmarks in this current area of space. It's very helpful, especially if you're a wormholer, but really, bookmarks are very useful. A lot of people will bring up their locations list, like so, but this is a little slow, and this is a very big window, so it's not good to have. You used to be able to easily bring up this window, but they changed things. So now, you bring up your locations window. Again, the hotkey is L for that, or you can also find it in your hotbar. But then you look at this tiny little open in window button. Click the open in window, and the tiny little window pops up. And it'll stay, and you can just go to system. You'll always have your bookmarks in your system. Easy to see, very easy to use, and it's really helpful. So hopefully no one ever forgets how to do that. Gate is red, gate is red. Before we go ahead and dive deeper into these Eve hidden mechanics, let's take a moment. If you're finding these revelations as helpful as I am, go ahead and do me a favor and hit that like button. And don't be shy. Go ahead and leave your thoughts and questions in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer all of them for you. I love hearing your guys' insights, and who knows, if you got a good comment, it'll definitely be featured in a future episode. And lastly, if you haven't already, do consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing that notification bell. That way you can stay up to date on all the latest tech right when it comes out. Alright, back on with the show. Number 4. So for this tip, we're back in Jita 4.4, and we're going to explore the markets here. This one's a money-saving tip, and once you know it, you'll be definitely saving a lot of iskies over time. So let's say we want to buy, about 50 neurovisual input matrices, right? So what do? This first order doesn't have 50, so we don't want to waste our time and double-click it, right? So we just double-click the second one, and we want to buy 50 of them. And you'll notice the price is 14,595,000 iskies. And that is this full price, this 29,190 times 50. What you are doing when you do this is buying these 18 on this top order for the more expensive price. And then you buy the rest from this guy. So if you want to save the most possible iskies when you are buying things from sell orders, you gotta make sure and just double click the top order and buy them all out of the top order, and rinse and repeat until you have as much as you need. And over time, this will save you a whole lot of iskies, especially depending on what you're buying. So hopefully that helps you out, and hopefully you get keep a lot of your iskies so you can buy cool ships with your extra savings. And with that, let's go ahead and move on to number 5. So this last tip is going to be a little bit of a fitting time saver tip for you. So let's go into a fitting like this one. What a great fitting. So we got a Tanaris here, and you'll notice with this fitting, oh no, we're over power grid, but we're only over one power grid, right? We can probably fix this with an implant. But what power grid implant do we need? There's a 1%, a 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%. So how can we tell what percentage this is? Sure, we could do the calculation by hand, by head, to figure it out, or we could just hover over the power grid, and that will tell you that we are 1.97 over, which means we need a 2% power grid implant. You can also do it with the CPU. We can tell how much we got there, and this just helps, when you're doing them real tight fittings, figuring out, or maybe you're a little bit less skilled and need an implant to help you out, you can easily figure out what kind of implant you need to get you into that correct fitting. And with that, we're all done for this episode. Hopefully you guys learned some cool new things, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Bye!